Hey kids, today I am in my own house just like you are, but I still have a story to tell you. So we're still in the season of Eastertide where we are celebrating the joy of Easter. So our first week we learned about how Mary knew Jesus in a new way. Even in his absence, she could still feel his presence, and then he appeared to her. Then we learned about how Cleopas and his friend met Jesus in a new way through the breaking of the bread. Then we learned about how Jesus was even known in the doubt of Thomas. He appeared to him, showing him the scar in his hand and telling him, "Blessed are you, because you have believed and you have seen. But blessed are those who have not seen and yet believed." And in today's story, we learn how Jesus was made known in the morning. The disciples traveled to Galilee just as Jesus had said. It was a long journey, but when they finally arrived at the Sea of Galilee, many of the disciples who were fishermen felt like they were back home. And Peter said, "I'm going fishing." And some of the disciples joined him. They got in the boat and they fished all night long, but they caught nothing. But they still felt the peace of home in the sound of the waves and the feel of the wind. And when morning came, the sky was yellow and pink, and they saw a man on the shore. They also saw some smoke. Maybe he was cooking something. And the stranger said to them, "Have you caught anything?" What could they say but no? And the stranger said, "Cast your nets to the other side of the boat." What did they have to lose? So they did. They cast their nets to the other side of the boat, and suddenly they became heavy with fish. There were so many fish that their nets felt like they were about to burst. But one of the disciples, John, he wasn't looking at the fish. He was looking at the man. He said to Peter, "It is the Lord." And Peter wasted no time. He jumped out of the boat, clothes and all, his shoes soon filled with water and sand as he treaded towards Jesus. The disciples followed in the boat, carrying their bags of fish beside them. And Jesus said, "Come and have breakfast." He had cooked some fish and bread for them. They talked about many things, and Jesus opened the scriptures to them again. Then Jesus asked Peter, "Follow me." And Jesus asked Peter, "Do you love me?" "Lord, you know that I love you." And Jesus said, "Feed my sheep." Then Jesus asked again, "Peter, do you love me?" "Lord, you know that I love you." "Then tend to my lambs." And then a third time, Jesus asked Peter, "Peter, do you love me?" "Lord, you know that I love you." And Jesus said, "Tend to my sheep." Jesus appeared to them in the morning, teaching them many things. Now, I wonder if there's anything in my house or in yours that's related to this story. I have a few things from the Godly Playroom here. I have the symbols from the disciple story of Peter and John. The symbol for Peter is a symbol with keys because Jesus said, "I will give you the keys to the kingdom of heaven." And the symbol for John is a cup because someone tried to poison him, but he stayed well. I also have a boat from the story of Jonah. There are a lot of stories in the Bible that take place on boats, aren't there? And then I thought that Jesus talking about sheep with Peter reminded me of the story of the Good Shepherd. I thought, what do I have in my house that looks like a sheep? I have cotton balls. So I thought those might go along with the story as well. Maybe you have something in your house that reminds you of this story that you could show to your parents or whoever take care of you. Maybe for your work today, you'd like to make the disciples in the boat craft from our craft packs at the church. If you haven't picked one up yet, it's not too late. You can still do that. You can put the disciples on popsicle sticks and have Peter swim towards Jesus and walk along with him. There's so many things that you can do today, but only you know what is right for you.